Ladies and gentlemen, as the massive smile cracks on the face of Mr. Tom Stoltman, you can probably see that I'm still with the Stoltmen, and we're heading into part number 3. Now, there's a few funny stories come out before we got back there. We're not going to necessarily go through all of them, but I can appreciate that as we go into part 3, there might be a degree of frustration out there because the sound and picture quality from up in the Highlands of Scotland is not that clear. But please give these lads a break because, to be fair, they've only had the wheel for when did you lads get the wheel? It's what, like 2-3 months?
Yeah. Probably a month ago, to be honest. We're still on dial up here. The 56k modem just had to come out. So, remember, what's the thing?
We're bringing you the top lads in strongman. It just so happens that they live in the middle of nowhere. Where these guys live, literally, there's only 4 people live there, and 3 of them are werewolves. So live with it. We're going to move on, lads. Get this done. I wanted to start this and get a bit of a history lesson on you because we never. I noticed at the top of the show we never actually covered that off. We never sort of tell me. Let's take it back, way back. So when you sort of came, why strongman, Luke?
Oh, so for me, I've said it a few times before. Being from the Highlands, I'll try and keep it short. So being from the Highlands, I watched a lot of historic kind of movies growing up. You know, the Highland Warrior, and I was a great believer. I still am a great believer that the Scottish are full of great warriors. You know, we got William Wallace, you know, which is just that iconic name in Scottish history. Plus, you know, throwing that big claymore and the Highland Games and stuff.
That the kiddie with the blue face, cross on it, she'll never take our freedom. Quite ironic, considering as we're all going to be locked in houses for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
But joking aside, so that was like the inspiration, was it really?
And then my grandfather, Dominic, he was Polish, so was Polish and German on my dad's side. So he moved across in the war, how many years ago, and he was just the epitome of strength. You know, he's come across the Highlands of Scotland from Poland. He was a fencer. He done peat as well. He sold peat, so he was in the peat bogs chopping up peat, and then just, you know, one of these guys hard as nails, you know. And there's a photo of my granddad, my dad's dad, carrying a big tree, you know, literally carrying this big tree trunk, riding down, looking happy as Larry. And I thought, you know what, that's something that stuck with me, and I wanted to become this. I just wanted to go to the gym and become strong, because I think as a man, and this doesn't go for everyone, this is just me, maybe I've got problems in my brain somewhere, but I just thought I should be, you know, strong and be able to support and look after my family, and by being stronger than the norm, should I say. That's what I feel I've done. So that's basically how I've kind of started kind of getting into just my strength journey, starting when I was 16, and it's been ongoing ever since, really.
Now, looking at the size of Tom there, I can't imagine that you sort of like, you know, coerced him into doing it. It's difficult to get him in an headlock and knuckle the living out of him, isn't it? It's not going to happen. So, did you gravitate towards it, Tom? Was it just like, oh, my big brother does this, I'm going to have a go, or what happened there?
It was more when I was about 17. I used to just play football. Football was my kind of chosen sport. I didn't really know much about weightlifting, didn't know much about... I watched World's Strongest Man, Mariusz Pudzianowski's and all them kind of guys back then, but I was never interested in the gym. I was like a twig. I was like Peter Crouch of the... So yeah, so it's all just football for me. And then I think it was one day when I was maybe 17, Luke said, "Oh, come to the gym with me." So I went to the gym, but I quit after a month or two because there was girls lifting more than me. I was squatting just about. I was like, I was sore for days and days and days. I was like, how can you enjoy doing stuff that makes your body sore for weeks and weeks and weeks? But then when I was turning out 18, I went down to watch Luke in his first Scotland's Strongest Man final. like seeing him lift cars and lift the logs above his head and lift all these objects was like, yeah, this is real strength. This is more than just gym stuff. So after that is when I kind of got back home and Luke took me under his wing and started just playing around with cars, flipping cars, lifting logs, lifting stones. And this is cool. So yeah, let's do it. And then I entered my first competition within a year and ended up coming fifth in Scotland and making Luke win his title. And then from there it just stuck and grew with the sport and grew with Luke and we got stronger. So yeah.
And it's such a fabulous dynamic in it. I mean, you know, in the previous episodes, if you haven't seen them yet, check them out. But joking aside, we talked about that. We talked about the fact that, you know, Luke was obviously, you had your nose in front. But now, if you look at it latterly, the sort of mutual benefit there is unbelievable, joking aside, isn't it? Because now you're able to push each other in, and also in events that aren't necessarily, it's not necessarily both of your best event. You know, you've got you gravitating towards the sort of overhead pressing type of things. We'll get onto that more. And what are your real favourite events in and outside of competition? For Tom, it's anything involving stones or moving events. You know, those are the ones he's gravitated to, and obviously world record holder in. So the fact that you've got that sort of those different strengths is brilliant, isn't it? Because you if you can hang on to the coattails of Tom when he's breaking world records on stones, awesome. If he can hang on to you when you're world class presser, awesome. It's a real cross pollination there. It's got to be it's good fortune in some respects, isn't it?
It's massive. I mean, we're so fortunate to be. I mean, people would pay thousands of pounds a month to have that training partner that is, you know, top 10 in the world. It's no one else, I don't think, in the sport has that kind of real strength in that partner. You know, so Tom, his deadlifts are awesome, stones are awesome, his loading is incredible. So like you say, Neil, if I can keep up with Tom in these events, I know going into the event, the competition, I'm going to do well. And then likewise with Tom, if he can keep up with me in the pressing, squatting, I'm up in squatting, then Tom's going to do really well. So having that on our doorstep is incredible. You know, we literally live 5 minutes apart from each other. We train in the same gym. We do a recovery session in the garage through the house there. You know, we've got hot and cold set up there. So everything we do is together. You know, it's incredible. So yeah, we're very, very fortunate. I suppose not fortunate, lucky. We're brothers. So it just happens that we're now, you know, the first brothers, you know, to break that kind of top 10 in the world, which is phenomenal. So yeah, you couldn't have wrote a better script, I don't think, for, you know, two brothers from the Highlands of Scotland, you know, 6'8" monster, world record holder, little short Luke, you know, has a nice suntan sometimes.
Little short Luke, you're 6'3", man. You're not little short Luke. It's just that your little brother was 11 when he was born. He's massive. I mean, just focusing on that, when you were a kid, were you just skinny, or were you all? Was the frame always there? Because there's no way anybody could accuse you. You talked about Peter Crouch, but you're not. What's probably most frightening about you is that you're not that big guy. I mean, look at Dominic Filiu, you know, rest in peace, giant man, but was never as mobile. In arm wrestling, we had Cleve Dean. Cleve was a monstrous man, massive, 7 foot tall, got up to 800 pounds at one point. I know he wasn't in good shape when he was like that, but the scale of the guy was massive. But at any point, he never had that real athleticism. You know, you look at some of the guys that are in strongman, and you're one of them. They're giant athletes. It's not like you're slow. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't fancy my chances racing you in an egg and spoon race up a steep slope. But on the other hand, you're not slow. You know what I mean? So
I think that's come from the school sports days and the people days as well. I've always kind of been into athletics as well when I was younger. Like I loved running. Anything under 200 meters, I was unbeaten at in school as well. So, and then that helped in football. Then in strongman, I never wanted to get like out of shape. I always wanted to be fit and strong. So, and that's what I've tried to keep doing over the years is put on size, put on muscle, but stay agile, stay fit, and stay mobile. And it's paying off so far. I don't know how long I can keep it up for, but yeah, just now it's
how much weight have you lads? We'll start with Luke. How much weight have you actually put on if you chart your last, let's realistically say the last 12 months?
Last 12 months. So I believe last year's Worlds, 2018 in the Philippines, I was 158, 156 kilos, one of the two, and this year I've been up to 165. So that's maybe an increase of about 7 kilos, 7 or 8 kilos. Yes, somewhere along that. But I've tried to put on a bit more weight at the moment because of the log press world record that we were supposed to be doing. So I just wanted to have a bit of a bigger base, like just to be somewhere solid. You know, if you're going for a 230 kilo log press, you're needing to have a bit more substance. So I thought I'd try and get up to 165, and I did that, and I felt very strong at 165. So, and I didn't feel too bad, to be honest. You know, moving around 165 for me is still not massive. It's big, but it's not huge. I think you've gone about 20 kilos.
I think was it Britain's 2018? To that I was about 152, 153, I think, and then December this year I was up to about 170, 172. But then I came down for Britain's Strongest Man this year for obviously because it was much more of a mobile and you had to be more athletic. It was in Dubai in November that I was probably my biggest. I think I was up to about 174 in Dubai was the biggest I've ever been. And yeah, I look like a big fat baby.
Mate, the funny thing is, I saw you lads coming into the hotel when we were at Britain's, and the pair of you were visibly big. You know, you'll see guys and you think, oh, he's put on a bit of weight, but it was like, whoa, visibly bigger. I mean, really, you'd put on a lot of depth, Luke, and Tom would put on a lot of everything. I mean, it's funny, the year before, when Graham won Britain's, same situation. As soon as we landed at the event, I saw him and his lass getting out the car as we were walking in. I said, oh, all right, mate. And he turned sideways on, and I thought, Jesus. You could just see, you know, what have you been eating? Oh, you look big, you know, and it's the same situation. How much... how far do you feel like you are off your individual optimum or aspiration? Maybe a better word. Where do you see yourself right now as being, knowing the mix of events, knowing your natural strengths? Where do you think that is?
For me, so bringing everything into account for me, like being offshore for the majority of the time I've been doing strongman, I'd like to think, 2020 is almost, it's not a write-off, we've still got events to do, but I'm looking to 2021. So Tom and I have both put things in place this year. For example, like this recovery aspect of it, we've really improved the recovery side of things and the dietary side of things. So I'm looking to 2021 to be a really big year for myself. I was hoping 2020 was going to be good with you know, everything, but obviously with the coronavirus and everything, we're a little bit off. But bodyweight wise, I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind pushing it a little bit up to maybe 170 just to see. I mean, I look to the likes of the guys that are winning it. You know, Half Thor, he's 200 plus kilos. Eddie, when he won it, Eddie's, you know, a little bit shorter than me. He's maybe 6'2". He was talking 194 kilos, I think Eddie was.
Yeah, I think he was 196 the night of the 500, wasn't he?
Which was incredible. You know, so I look to guys that have been there and done that. You know, again, it's that blueprint. Obviously, it doesn't always carry over, but I think if I got up to 170, just to see how I felt, but do it in a healthy way. I'm not just going to go out and eat packs of, donuts and put on bad, because that's very detrimental in the kind of performance kind of capabilities. So, I think I'm just going to keep going with the weight and see where we can get to. Tom and I mean, Tom can.
I think I can get up to 200k plus, but like Luke said, everything happens for a reason, and I think 2020 was going to be my biggest year because I've done a few changes of nutritionists and stuff. But that aside, 2021 means I can get a whole year with this new nutritionist. He's the best nutritionist in the world in my eyes. He's got 4 World's Strongest Man titles with Brian Shaw, 1 with Martin Lisses. So, Martin Lisses won his World's Strongest Man title when he was a year with this guy. So, come 2021, that'll be a year I've had with this guy for World's Strongest Man. So, in my eyes, I believe that 2021 will see new heights for both of us, and then it will just keep going up and up and up. And that's an honest truth, because 2020, like Luke said, I was wanting to win Europe, and then going to go over to World Strongest Man and podium in there. Then 2021, I was going to win it, and now I'll just skip 2020, skip the podium, and go to the top spot. So, well, aim big or don't aim. Have big goals or don't have any goals.
Is there any chance, Tom, that from sort of the dark and truly unprecedented times that we find ourselves in right now as we sit here, we something can come out of this? Because you're going into isolation effectively or potentially as we stay here over the weekend, that we could come out on Monday and it be everybody's not allowed out of their house. If something like that happens, or let's say even best case, everybody's supposed to sort of locked down for 12 weeks, and we were to pop up in August, and Giants Live have put Europe's back on in August now. In that period of sort of isolation, can you achieve more? Can you have singular focus? And more than that, because of the fact that you're not competing, is there a possibility that your body will be less broken down and you can do it in a more methodical way than you previously could?
I think in such times, what we're going through, you've got to look to the positive. I'm very much more of the glass is always half full rather than half empty. So in doing this, it's a horrible thing that's happening to the country and to the world. But we have to look to the positive sides of things. It's nice that we are at home for a longer time. We haven't been at home this long in a while. A lot of stuff has been cancelled, but as a knock-on effect of that, we have to be at home more. So, okay, they say self-isolation, but I mean, I live 20 seconds away from my dad's house, where my brother stays, my other brother. We can recoup, we can niggles. We have every strength athlete, and probably every athlete has niggles. So we're working on the recovery aspect of it all. We're really honing in on that. And I think coming out of it, I 100% believe that we're going to be better off in a performance base. We're going to be refreshed. Because last year, Tom and I did about 14 competitions, I think, last year, which is a lot of competitions for a strength athlete to do. So over 1 month we did. So if we have a couple of months, 3-4 months off from competing, that really recharges your batteries and it makes you miss that.
Gets you hungry again.
Yeah, definitely. We're kind of
itching to go for Europe already,
No, we are. We're ready to go. And I mean, when Giants Live announced that the Europe's is cancelled and it's going to be in August, I put a comment that says, regardless of what day it is, guys, the Stoltman brothers are always going to be ready. And that's not me just saying that. That's 100% fact. So if we've got to do this coronavirus quarantine, isolation, whatever you want to call it, it'll just make us more determined to prove to everyone that, you know, we are more than capable of doing that and then coming out the other end with some increase in strength, mentality. The recovery side's going to be on point, and you know everything's going to be better. I believe that's what I'm wanting from this. Because if we looked at it negatively, then it's going to affect us negatively. If we try and be positive towards it, you know where we're from. Again, I touched base in the first video we did where we stay in the Highlands. We're very lucky up here. There's not a lot of people. I mean, it's beautiful, it's stunning. So, I mean, last night we're walking outside, the stars were there in the sky. You know, it's like, I walk outside the door and I see that. I mean, that makes me happy. So, I try and take the little positives from, you know, little things. Simple things make me happy, Neil. So, I'm quite a simple guy in that respect.
No, good for you, mate. I mean, that is, there's a lot of truth in what you say. I think if you're in a good place mentally with your surroundings, you enjoy what you do, you enjoy where you are, other things do have a tendency to come together. And one thing that nobody can argue with is you lads are in the ascendancy. You know, you only have to look at your recent performances, and it's not just, it's everywhere. You're really starting to be recognised, and and it's recognition that's long overdue. If you were to sort of, I want to sort of, I know I've kept you lads on for ages, but I want to sort of finish with a few little bits of information, just where your thoughts are at. Of the current crop of strongmen that are out there, who do you see as the very best? Who are your biggest threats? Because everybody's got Thor as that sort of, you know, he's the dominant force right now. And there's another crop of up-and-comers, of which, you know, you guys are definitely two of those guys, the new breed, as I'd call them. And for me, guys that I'd put immediately into that category, Kilishkovsky, you know, right there.
Yeah.
You've got Novikov, who's another one that's ridiculous. And the current WSM, Lysis, who is a beast as well.
Yeah.
Are they the main guys that you see? Are there others that you're concerned about? I mean, you guys are right in the heart of and the thick of the circuit. And going on from that, any of those lads that you worry about, or can you beat them all, do you think?
I think Kilishkovsky's the main one for me. I mean, I've beat every single person in the strongman scene except Thor and Kilishkovsky. And I think those two for me are a different level. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and Lysis as well is like Lysis just got. He can be injured. He can have one leg, and he'll still. His mind's just a different. He's good at his mind as well, which is he's just unbelievable as well. So yeah.
Very professional, isn't he, Martins? Very, very, very focused individual, confident and focused.
Yeah, incredibly actually. Martins is one of those guys with that mental strength, that kind of mental focus, and yeah, for me, he's just an incredible athlete. Again, he's maybe a bit unassuming compared to the likes of Half-Lord and Brian and stuff like that. But goodness me, when he's switched on, when he's performing, Martins is one of the top.
You could see that at Santa Monica. He had one event to go and he was 8th place and switched on, and look what he did. He got to the Arnold's in Ohio. So it's just that kind of, he switches his switch and boom, he can beat anyone in the world. And
I think that's the beauty at the moment with strength and strongman. We've got the likes of the new breed. Luke Richardson, we had Luke up training with us for a week, and Luke is I think he's 22 years old. I might be right. Is he 22 or 23?
Yeah, he's 22. I think he's 22. Yeah, I think he's 22. He certainly was at Britain's, or we announced him as that. I may have been lying. That's what they wrote down. But yeah.
So we had. It was great. Luke came up to train with us for a week. And as as a young man, and I don't mean to make that sound patronising, but being a 22-year-old, to see the dedication that Luke puts into his training, his diet, his recovery, it was inspiring. It really was, and I'm not just saying that, but I had such admiration for him as a 22-year-old, because I remember when I was 22, I wasn't that dedicated. I was doing something completely different. But yeah, so I've seen the likes of that, and a British guy, very exciting. His deadlift and his static stuff is incredible, and he's so focused, which is what is I'm touting Luke to be one of the best in Britain in the next kind of couple of years. He's going to be really hard to beat. I mean, he came fourth in Britain's Strongest Man this year, which is his first show. So he's going to be massive one to watch. Adam Bishop as well, just finding his kind of, he's just getting into his stride now, I think. He's one of the best deadlifters in the world. I mean, he's probably in repetitions, Adam's the best, I think, at the moment, which is incredible. He's really working on his log press as well, which is great to see. Gymnasia, the beast from Georgia, when he's just coming back from an injury, he's looking very strong again. And when he's performing, I think he came fourth in the world a couple of years ago.
I think he's had a third, hasn't he? I think he's had a third as well. I think he podiumed. He's certainly been right there, hasn't he?
He's been up there, so that type of class, you can't ever write those guys off. JF Caron, he's one of my favourite strongmen. Watching him compete, he's just.
If you look at JF, and you look at Brian, and you look at some of the guys that were the absolute upper echelon lads year after year, do you think their time's gone? Do you think we're just starting to get to the dawning of this new era? And as I say, I love Brian. Brian's a great bloke, and he's another freak. He's one of arguably the greatest strongman in history. He's right there, isn't he, for that conversation? But is he just going off the boil, and is it this new, the Kilishkovskis, yourselves, Lisis? Is it that time? Novikov,
Yeah. I think with Brian, if you asked me that this time last year, I would be more inclined to agree with you. But the way I've seen Brian train, which is great to watch his YouTube videos and stuff, it's a great insight into his training. He's completely switched it round, and he's looking in incredible shape. He's really changed things.
He's got his old nutritionist that he was back with when he won the 4 titles as well. So you can't write Brian Shaw. If you write him off, it's stupid. Because
I would love to see that lad come back strong, like you say, Tom. I'd love it.
Awesome. So that's what I was really excited to see him at World's Strongest Man this year, Brian, because he's just prepped for Worlds this year. So, and Brian doing that, he's going to be dangerous, and he's got that pedigree. You can't buy that kind of level of pedigree that Brian has. So I was really excited for Brian, because he's one of the, again, a proper gentleman of the sport. He's helped a lot, and nothing but respect for Brian. He's been an absolute stellar athlete,
true professional,
and I really hope for Brian, because you see how much he puts into it. Brian's one of those guys, but I've been certainly looking at the current crop. As Tom said, half bar is just insane. He's Mateus. I hope that Mateus can win it, because he's one of my favourite people in the whole sport. I think he's brilliant. That's me. So a quick one about Mateus. So, it was last year in Dubai. We were having a bit of crack, because it was log press for reps, 180 kilos for reps. Mateus came up to me and he went, very weak. I'm like, all right, mate, cheers for that, son. So anyway, we went up and I think it was 4 reps. I was a bit annoyed. I was wanting kind of 5 or 6 reps in the log. And then Mateus did 4 reps as well. And then I went up to him after and I went, very weak.
Have it.
She's such an incredible athlete. I mean, look at Arnold. He won 4 events out of 6, and he still didn't win the show. So, you know, let's hope that he gets his deadlift up. But I mean, half bar is just, you know, this time last year, or, you know, later last year, everyone was thinking half bar was done. But you look at him now, he's
looking scary big as well.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he?
It's
not even human, really.
Yeah, so I mean, so for people to throw us in with that mix of kind of, you know, top guys in the world at the moment, it means a lot, and it just shows that, you know, the level that Tom and I are working to at the moment is really paying off, and hopefully we can showcase it all very soon once we get, you know, the kind of virus, the coronavirus, all done and dusted. You know, we're going to be ready to go, as is all the other athletes out there, I think, and we can't wait. Really can't wait to compete again. It's going to get spicy.
Ladies and gents, we hope you've enjoyed this these 3 episodes, and lads, I cannot thank you enough. It's been absolutely great to have you guys on here. I want to do it again very soon, and obviously, for everybody out there watching, please like, subscribe, share, let everybody know about it. Also, just on a personal note, guys, and everybody watching, I want to wish you and your families all the very best. I hope that you all stay safe and healthy through what are incomparable, just a ridiculous set of circumstances. So whenever we get back to strongman competition, I know you guys are going to be pent up and ready. Thanks for joining us, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And please come back on again soon.
Of course, Neil. Thank you very much for having us.